In the heart of a fog-choked town, the past whispered through cracked wood, and a book promised everything for a price no mind should pay. The creeping fingers of autumn's mist curled over the cobblestones like the breath of some ancient beast, cold and unyielding. Alex's boots echoed hollow beneath the whisper of dead leaves, each step through the town's edge unraveling a trail back to the Victorian relic standing stubborn against time. The house his grandmother left him, a monument of secrets wrapped in rotting lace and whispered regrets. Its jagged silhouette pierced the grey quilt of fog, like a gaunt sentinel anchored in forgotten memories. The first chill seeped in as he crossed the threshold, a spectral draught weaving through cracked panes and loose shutters, dragging with it the scent of damp earth, stale dust, and something far older, a twisted perfume of faded sorrow and forgotten devotion. Inside, silence had weight, thick and suffocating like a shroud of unwelcome echoes. The air was heavy with the breath of decaying wood and the brittle whisper of paper long untouched. Shadows traveled, thin, curling fingers stretching across stained portraits whose glass eyes caught his hesitant glances and held them, accusatory and unblinking. They bore down like silent witnesses to a life tangled in secrecy, their frozen gaze tracking murmurs of the past and promises never kept. Alex's hands trembled beneath the dim halo of a flickering lamp as he ascended to the attic, floorboards groaning beneath his tentative weight. There, beneath a decayed tapestry of dust-choked letters, he uncovered the leather-bound tome. Its skin cracked like ancient bark, symbols etched into the cover glowing faintly with a heartbeat of unspoken power, pulsing beneath the fragile veneer like the slow thrum of a hidden predator. Its pages were colder than stone, a biting chill snaking up his skin as he opened it, the sharp tang of burnt wax clinging to his nostrils even as the smell of rotten paper settled deep within his lungs. The book whispered promises, grand, terrible, seductive, every wish granted, but wrapped tight in shadows and silence. Just superstition, he muttered, lips pressed tight, yet the tremor in his voice betrayed the fragile flicker of desire and doubt gnawing within. When his whisper sliced through the stillness, begging for effortless comprehension of his dense academic tomes, the air around him shimmered, thickening, then thinning like the slow exhale of some vast slumbering beast. The words on the page blurred, then sharpened into crystals of clarity that gleamed beneath his widening eyes. It actually worked, he breathed, disbelief, tangled with a flicker of wonder wrapping cold fingers around his ribs. But beneath the bloom of triumph, darkness whispered, a gathering shadow curling tight within his chest like smoke coiling in frozen air. The house shifted, groaning low as if alive, the amber glow of the fire flickering into jagged shapes that danced at the edge of perception, shadows contorting, stretching with a grin too cruel to be natural. Then a crack, a fleeting distortion in the tarnished mirror, his reflection splintered, eyes glinting with a hellish light that burned with unholy hunger. Am I losing my mind? He asked the silence. Only the cold, scentless stillness answered back. Temptation thrummed through his veins, sharper and darker, pushing him toward his next wish, the craving for respect, for the gaze and envy of others to crown him in newfound glory. The following day, his phone roared to life, messages multiplying like vultures circling carrion, invitations hardening into demands, all eyes darkening with sudden hunger. Yet warmth bled from his chest, leaving an icy hollowness where pride once bloomed. They saw not him, but the hollow mask summoned by whispered incantations, a crafted mirage that flickered and fractured beneath facades of smiles and casual glances. Around him, the house's air thickened, viscous and choking. Upstairs, footsteps echoed faint, though no one walked but shadows tangled deep in the woodwork. Fear ground against sanity's fragile edges. Was this the price? The book's venom seeping slowly through the brittle skin of reality? Heart hammering, Alex faced the darkness, choking back the rising tide of despair to find courage in the ink-black night. The very walls seemed to inhale, holding their breath, as from shadowed corners slithered a voice. Serpentine, childless of mercy, dripping with venomous delight. All wishes are debts, Alex. The fire sputtered, dying into ash and suffocating shadow, and from that abyss a figure emerged, bound by ancient ink and whispered lies, a demon veiled in the embracing blackness of forgotten tomes and broken promises. You sought knowledge, respect, courage, it hissed, the words sharp edges sinking deep beneath flesh and bone, the air sour with forgotten sin. Around him portraits wept ink, black tears, ancient relics trembled as if breathing with eldritch life, nightmares bled into waking, a mist pressing cold as demon breath against his skin, twisting friends into shifting specters, voices once familiar warping to lash and bite like jagged glass. Reality fractured, splintering illusions until only raw terror remained. Desperation coiled within his mind like a venomous serpent. Could a wish undo this torment? Beg for mercy from the very pages that had trapped him. But the book, alive with infernal flame, slipped from numb fingers and closed with a finality carved in doom. The truth blazed, clear and merciless. Once given, the soul is debt forever, a currency swallowed by shadow. In the godless hour, beneath the house's living nightmare breath, Alex's thoughts drifted to the ghost of his grandmother. Her silence a heavy lock on forbidden memories, the drawer he never dared open. Had she too bartered with darkness, ensnared in a legacy inked not in words but blood? The cold seeped deeper, a living frost crawling beneath his skin as the house pulsed with grim heartbeat alive with tragedy and despair. The book opened one last time, pages filling with ink darker than the endless void, sinuous script tracing the spiral of desire's torment. The shadows congealed, twisting into a twisted tree, its gnarled branches clawing low ceilings, each leaf an eye withered and watching. An eternal testament that desire is a demon's playground, and freedom its cruelest illusion. If you dared to make a wish, what shadowed price would you pay? Speak your darkest desires, but beware, some bargains are stitched with blood and bound to silence.